Good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the corruption detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Well, guys, we've got quite a bit of news to get through today. First of all, there has been an exciting new development in the case of a certain Minnesota representative who may or may not have married someone in her immediate family. Then, right now, as I'm speaking, Corey Lewandowski is testifying before Congress for impeachment hearings on President Trump. The witch hunt continues. Then we've got an amazing clip from President Trump and Brad Parscale, and this is talking about Joe Biden's fitness level in terms of whether or not he should be president. And then I'm sure that everyone has learned about the ongoing fight against the Sackler family. These are the people who invented OxyContin and basically started the opiate crisis here in America. We'll hear about that and my thoughts on it. And then finally, we've got an update on the character witnesses for Andrew McCabe. Looks like maybe some people are not so hot to testify on behalf of good old Andy. Well, we're going to have all this and more, and we'll be right back after a brief word from my sponsor. Now, with 8chan gone and lots of confusion out there behind the scenes as to what is happening with the Q drops, QAnon supporters and those of you who follow him need something to cheer you up. As you know, the movement has gone from strength to strength since Q's first off-the-record post on the coming storm. Even if Q never gets to post again, you can keep the real thing alive with this. It's a very special celebration of an idea, of a movement like no other, brought to life here. Like Q, this coin has a hidden secret, and we'll get to that. Look at the old-fashioned American craftsmanship that has gone into all the details on this. It drips with hidden meanings, from the lightning flash in 17 to trust the plan. The other fun part is using the built-in AR technology, which lets you stream a video of Q's greatest hits by pointing your phone at the lightning symbol which comes with the coin. Get yours today. Demand is through the roof. They're selling out fast, and like Q, once they're gone, who knows when they'll be back. All right, first off, there has been a huge development. There's new evidence that has emerged that Representative Omar married her brother and is currently using a fake name. So this came out last night. Several people sent me the tweet, but now it's been deleted, and it's a resurfaced tweet from 2013. So it's now deleted, but we can go to something else which has it archived, in which she refers to her father by the name Noor Saeed. The tweet was later deleted that morning. Here it is. Happy Father's Day to my Abo Noor Saeed. I am forever grateful to Allah for giving me the best father. And that was linked to her Instagram. Now, in 2009, Representative Omar married Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi, who was the son of Noor Saeed. Now, from Twitter, the Imam of Peace says, your father is Noor Saeed, not Noor Omar Mohammed. So you're Ilhan Noor Saeed, and you married Ahmed Noor Saeed. You married your brother. Most Americans don't know that in most Muslim countries, the surname is actually the father's name. Resign. And then he links to Omar's status from 2013 and says, busted. And he says, this means her real name is Ilhan Noor Saeed. Some examples for non-Muslims and those not from the Middle East and North Africa. Mohammed Salman means Mohammed, the son of Salman. Mohammed Zayed means Mohammed, the son of Zayed. Ilhan's dad is Noor Saeed. She's Ilhan Noor Saeed. Now, as the Gateway Pundit previously reported, in 2017, Representative Omar swore under penalty of perjury while divorcing her husband, brother, that she hadn't seen Ahmed and Elmi since 2011 and didn't know anyone who could help her contact him. Representative Omar, who clearly has no respect for marriage, is currently going through a divorce from the father of her 3 children, Ahmed Hersi, after she was caught cheating on her husband with her political consultant, who's also married. The consultant, Tim Minot, was hanging out with Ilhan Omar in public with his 13-year-old son before he told his wife about the affair. What a guy. An extensive report by David Steinberg in July revealed that in 1995, Ilhan entered the United States as a fraudulent member of the Omar family. That is not her family. The Omar family is a second, unrelated family which was being granted asylum by the United States. The Omars allowed Ilhan, her genetic sister Sarah, Sarah and her genetic father, Noor Saeed, to use false names to apply for asylum as members of the Omar family, the report explained. Ilhan's genetic family split up at this time. The above three received asylum in the United States, while Ilhan's three other siblings, using their real names, managed to get asylum in the United Kingdom. Steinberg reported that Ilhan Abdullahi, Omar's name before applying for asylum, was Ilhan Noor Saeed Elmi. Her father's name before applying for asylum was Noor Saeed Elmi Mohammed. Her sister Sarah Noor's name before applying for asylum was Sarah Noor Saeed Elmi. Her three siblings who were granted asylum by the United Kingdom are Layla Noor Saeed Elmi, Mohammed Noor Saeed Elmi, and Ahmed Noor Saeed Elmi, the report continued. As the Gateway Pundit previously reported, Omar's real father, Noor Omar Mohammed, aka Noor Saeed Elmi Mohammed, is connected to the former genocidal dictator in Somalia, Saeed Barre. Noor and other former Barre accomplices are living in the U.S. illegally. This is absolutely explosive, guys. We have been talking about this for a long time. It looks like we finally caught her, and the documented evidence is right here. She is saying happy birthday to her father, Noor Saeed. That is a different name from the one that it is supposed to be, and I bet you she thought that people would never dig that far back to find this tweet. But Anons have, and Anons have brought her to the table. I'm really hoping that Congress is going to act on this. She's clearly here illegally. She's committed multiple crimes, felony crimes, and she does not have the right to be serving in Congress right now. Someone with the cojones to do something about this needs to step forward and take action. I guess we're going to have to wait and see who that is, because as it stands right now, it's only the people of this great nation who seem to care. The lawmakers apparently are not so worried about truth and justice and representing the people of Minnesota in the best possible way. People of Minnesota, time for you guys to speak up. All right, now, as I stated earlier, Corey Lewandowski is appearing right now before the House Judiciary Committee in its first impeachment hearing. So the House Judiciary Committee was scheduled to hold its first impeachment hearing today, Tuesday, at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, that panel, chaired by Representative Gerald Nadler, last week approved procedures for its impeachment investigation into President Trump. Trump's former campaign manager, Corey Lewandowski, was scheduled to appear before the Democrat-led committee on Tuesday to discuss this garbage Mueller report. And Corey Lewandowski says, excited about the opportunity to remind the American people today that there was no collusion and no obstruction. There were lots of angry Democrats who tried to take down a duly elected president. Tune in, Senate 2020, Lewandowski said in a tweet early Tuesday morning. Now, Lewandowski is a loyal and devoted supporter of President Trump, and most likely he won't give the House Judiciary Committee any new information during the Soviet-style show hearing. Two other White House aides were also subpoenaed along with Lewandowski. That would have been Rob Porter and Rick Dearborn, both of whom will not show up on Tuesday to the hearing on orders from Trump White House counsel Pat Cipollone, who argued that they have absolute immunity from testifying. According to Mueller's report, Corey Lewandowski was told by President Trump to direct then Attorney General Jeff Sessions to limit Mueller's investigation, and if Sessions refused, he would be fired. Mueller's report then stated Lewandowski never delivered Trump's message to Jeff, but asked Rick Dearborn to do it, but the Trump aide refused as well. The deranged Democrats considered this to be an obstruction of justice episode. White House counsel Pat Cipollone said in a letter to Judiciary Committee that Lewandowski will not disclose his private conversations with President Trump and will only disclose what is already publicly available in Mueller's report. Nadler held a presser last Thursday where he asserted that the impeachment investigation will go well beyond the four corners of the Mueller report. Trump's crimes and corruption extend beyond what is detailed in the Mueller report, Nadler said last week. The president is in violation of the Emoluments Clause of the Constitution as he works to enrich himself, putting the safety and security of our nation at risk. He has dangled pardons, been involved in campaign finance violations, and stonewalled Congress across the board, noting that he will defy all subpoenas. Now, next, from my friend on Twitter, The Dirty Truth, a.k.a. Real Dirty, retweeted by the president. Hope you're watching, buddy. He was able to grab a couple of clips from the ongoing testimony in Congress before the House Judiciary Committee impeachment hearing. So we're going to go ahead and take a listen to Corey Lewandowski school these congressmen about the deletion of emails.
I also received hundreds of thousands of emails, some days with as many as 1,000 emails. And unlike Hillary Clinton, I don't think I ever deleted any of those. Many of them were responded to with either one-word answers or forwarded to other staffers for additional follow-up. But throughout it all, and to the best of my recollection, I don't ever recall having any conversations with foreign entities, let alone any who were offering to help to manipulate the outcome of an election. As I've said publicly many times, anyone who attempted to illegally impact the outcome of an election should spend the rest of their life in jail. And let me stress this fact. During the 2016 election cycle, Mr. Trump held no elected position. He was not a government official. Rather, the Obama-Biden administration and the intelligence community, overseen by James Clapper, Jim Comey, and John Brennan, had the responsibility to the American people to ensure the integrity of the 2016 election. I'll leave it to this committee and the American public to decide how successful or not they were in doing their jobs.
Oh, boom. That was a pretty sick burn there, Corey. And he's right. President Donald Trump was not an employee of the government. Even if he had exchanged emails with a foreign head of state, I think that it could have been looked at as someone preparing to go into office and having a conversation with another dignitary that he would necessarily need to maintain a relationship with. But Corey makes an excellent point. He never fielded any emails asking for help with throwing this election or doing it in favor of President Trump or trying to obstruct Hillary Clinton from getting into office. There was nothing like that. And he left every single email on that server. He knew exactly what he was doing, and Hillary Clinton is the one who needs to be on trial and testifying. Many times, Hillary Clinton has been brought before the various committees here in Congress. Her answers have been shrouded in mystery because she thinks things like the deaths of Americans are funny, and she laughs about those things. Meanwhile, Corey Lewandowski, never a government employee, never broke any laws. Here he is being dragged before this committee with the Judiciary Chairman, Jerry Nadler, trying to impeach President Trump for crimes that don't exist. Well, apparently President Trump must submit to Gerald Nadler, otherwise this is going to go on for all eternity. Again, the Democrats are sore losers. They've done absolutely everything they could to try to get Trump out of there, to try to catch him in doing something illegal. He's done nothing, okay? He does not run his company. He's not directly being enriched by someone staying in a hotel room. I would really like to know about the members of Congress who are enriched by the information that they receive in these committee hearings and then go and make business decisions based on that. Beating out the American public, getting inside information, tips on stocks and companies, who's going to be doing what. Most of these people come in fairly, middle class, but they end up leaving millionaires. What's up with that? Okay, President Trump is going to lose billions of dollars just by being president. He's not taking a single dollar in a salary. He is giving it away to areas of the government like the VA. Jerry Nadler, it's very clear that you're going after President Trump just because you don't like him, you don't like his politics, and you don't like the way that his presidency is a boon to America. America is winning because President Trump is in office, not due to anything that you or the Democrats have done in your time in office. So once again, this is just a big witch hunt. Absolutely nothing will come of it. I actually welcome this final last stepping stone to President Trump's 2020 re-election. And I honestly think that he should get another 4 years in the office of the president, because all they've done so far is waste America's time and tried to obstruct him from being able to run the country in a feasible way. You know, guys, I cannot wait. January 2020 cannot come soon enough. I am really looking forward to that tip on Gitmo that I received yesterday. I've got a really good feeling about this one, guys. There's actually an article related to that we're going to take a look at next. All right, so we have covered this previously in the past, National Guard units being deployed to Guantanamo Bay, but I just want to say that here is a perfect example of soldiers at a base that are being deployed to Guantanamo Bay. Now, a statement from the Guard says a departure ceremony is being held Friday for more than 120 soldiers with the Kentucky Army National Guard's 223rd Military Police Company. The ceremony is being held at the United Auto Workers Union Hall in Louisville. The soldiers are deploying deploying in support of Southern U.S. Command. The Louisville-based unit was last deployed in 2008 to 2009 to Baghdad, Iraq, in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. So what I want you to ask yourself, guys, and first of all, I do want to say that this is not from the guardsman that was being called up to Guantanamo for January to transport upwards of 1,000 new prisoners. This is just an article that someone else, a viewer, had sent me. So it's an example of how many different guard units across the United States and different people in the armed services are being transferred to Guantanamo Bay. They currently have about 40 prisoners there. And why would it be necessary to continue to increase the presence of the military men and women there at Guantanamo Bay unless there was going to be additional people that were being transferred in there? If you're going to have upwards of 1,000 prisoners there in Guantanamo, be they geriatric or whatever, it stands to reason that you're going to need to beef up the deployment. So once again, just continue to watch. If you guys hear anything else, or if you are yourself going to be transferred to Guantanamo Bay, please get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to you here on the program. All right, next, Trump campaign has dropped a brutal clip showing top libs bashing Biden's fitness for the White House. President Trump's re-election campaign has put out a new video that features a slew of his gaffes along with top Democrats and political pundits questioning his fitness for the presidency. I think we are at a tough point right now because there's a lot of people concerned about Joe Biden's ability to carry the ball all the way across the end line without fumbling, 2020 candidate Senator Cory Booker says in the video. And I think that Castro had really legitimate concerns about can he be someone in a long, grueling campaign, and has every right to call that out. Now, Julian Castro, another White House hopeful, faced off with Biden in a testy exchange at last Thursday's Democrat debate. The former Housing and Urban Development Secretary under former administration confronted the former vice president, saying, "You just said 2 minutes ago they would have to buy in. Are you forgetting what you said 2 minutes ago?" The video was posted on Twitter on Tuesday by campaign manager Brad Parscale, who wrote simply, "You just wonder." Let's go ahead and look at this video from Brad.
Obama reportedly told Joe Biden directly, quote, "You don't have to do this, Joe. You really don't."
That is not a joke. That is a natural fact.
I think Biden looked unsteady at many points.
Play the radio. Make sure make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone.
He's not the most polished speaker anymore.
The president my friend from Vermont thinks that.
Watching his long, winding answers that don't really make sense in recent debates has also raised the question as to whether that has gotten worse and whether he is up for this.
The fact is that the bills that the future president here.
There's a lot of people who are concerned about Joe Biden's ability to carry the ball all the way across the end line without fumbling.
Go to Joe 30330.
He looked kind of unsteady and almost deer in the headlights.
So what are we doing? What's going on right now?
He's not that good at this. I mean, he's clearly not that strong a candidate, thinking on his feet.
Anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry.
I think there are some concerns, and they've been expressed by Democrats themselves.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Over whether Joe Biden is equipped to withstand a very grueling campaign.
We choose truth over facts.
Joe Biden was really shaky, both because he was stumbling through his answers.
I'm the vice president of the United States.
And also because the substance of those answers hasn't really gotten better.
Those details are irrelevant.
I think we're going to see growing questions, wondering if he has the mental and physical stamina to get through this campaign.
I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town.
Obama warned Biden's aides to make sure Biden didn't embarrass himself.
Imagine what would have happened if, God forbid, Barack Obama had been assassinated.
Real conversation that is happening among Democrats. Has he lost a step? Is he too shaky?
I want to be clear. I'm not going nuts.
There are definitely moments where you listen to Joe Biden and you just wonder.
You just wonder. Oh. Now, the video includes numerous political pundits questioning whether Biden has lost a step and whether he's equipped for a very grueling campaign. And Biden is seen in that clip suggesting that people play the record player to help their children learn English. The video also reminds viewers that even Obama has told Biden, you don't have to do this, meaning run for president. And of course, he also has not endorsed his former vice president. That is not a joke. That is a natural fact, Biden then yells. Oh, you guys, I'm sorry. But the thing that's funny to me is that the Democrats have him in here as the apparent front runner. It is so clear when you're looking at Joe Biden speak and when he gives these painful, winding, long-winded answers. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I would think that, someone of his caliber or maybe just his age, they would give him like a earpiece. They'd give him a headset. They would feed him the answers if the Democrats want him in there. But then the question remains, who is it that the Democrats actually want in there? Do they even know? I suggested the other day that it's probably going to be Elizabeth Warren. She appears to me to be the only one that is really pulling the numbers when it comes down to it. She's, gained with Biden and with Bernie. And then just yesterday, she had a rally in, I believe it was New York. 20,000 people showed up. Now, that is huge for a Democrat, not necessarily so huge for someone like President Trump. He walks out the door in the morning, there's 20,000 people standing there waiting to greet him, get their MAGA hat signed. But Elizabeth Warren, this was a big showing. This was a very big showing. So I've had several people tell me they think that Hillary Clinton's going to do a last-minute drop-in because she's going to have to rescue it. But I think that's an incredibly bad idea. I don't think that Hillary Clinton can win. I don't think that any of these people can win. And I guess, again, I'm just going to ask, what are the Democrats doing? Do they even understand? Or is Joe Biden, with his failing memory, with his, forgetting answers, is this truly the fates of the future of the Democratic Party? All right, now the Sackler family, that's the family behind the company that invented OxyContin. They were caught trying to hide billions of dollars from Purdue since 2007 as lawsuits began to pile up. So right now they're getting sued, and they have been found to be hiding funds in the form of wire transfers, sending money here, sending money there. They've been removing billions of dollars from their company Purdue since about 2007. So it looks like they knew that this was going to come, and they've been preparing themselves. Now, this is actually from RT. New York's Attorney General has uncovered over $1 billion in wire transfers by the Sackler family and accused the OxyContin magnates of trying to shield their wealth from mounting lawsuits over their role in the opioid crisis. The prodigious stash was discovered in the records of just one of the 33 financial institutions that Attorney General Letitia James subpoenaed last month in an effort to trace the extent of the Purdue Pharma owner's wealth. The money passed through several Swiss bank accounts, indicating the family may have tried to hide profits from the sale of drugs that have killed hundreds of thousands of Americans over the past 2 decades as their legal troubles began to pile up. While the Sacklers continued to lowball victims and skirt a responsible settlement, we refuse to allow the family to misuse the courts in an effort to shield their financial misconduct. And that was stated by Attorney General Letitia James. She said that in a statement on Friday, and she's referring to the tentative $3 billion settlement that 23 states have reached with the Sacklers on Wednesday. The money would be paid out over 7 years and would not come with an admission of wrongdoing. The proposed settlement, which rolls together nearly 2,300 lawsuits against the company, would require Purdue Pharma to file for bankruptcy, a move that would halt all litigation against the company. New York and many other states are hoping to reclaim the profits the Sacklers may have siphoned off into their personal fortunes, and legal experts who spoke to the New York Times suggested the extent of the transfers could leave the family open to criminal charges, as they should be. Sackler family members have been removing billions of dollars from Purdue since 2007, when the company was forced to cough up a $635 million fine as part of a guilty plea over misbranding OxyContin and misleading medical professionals over its addictive potential, suggesting that they saw the writing on the wall long ago. Now, this is something I've spoken about here on the program before, and you guys know how I feel about the opioid crisis here in America. As a medicine for killing pain, OxyContin works very well for certain people under certain circumstances. There are pain disorders, chronic pain disorders, people with cancer. But the problem is that the Sacklers were telling doctors to prescribe it for people who had previously taken very low-grade painkillers for just average, everyday things. The kinds of things that in often cases you can get away with taking Tylenol or aspirin. But they were handing OxyContin out like candy. Now, what I had spoken about before is someone who was friends with my mom was a sales rep for Purdue. And they knew back then, I believe this was well before 2007, but they said back then that they knew that OxyContin was extremely addictive. He was quoted as saying that it was better than heroin. They knew exactly what was going to happen when you got this into the hands of junkies on the street, or perhaps into the hands of drug dealers who would then know what to do with it. So with the fact that they have been siphoning off this money, they have been trying to hide it for over 10 years. They knew exactly what was coming. They knew what was going to happen, and they knew that one day they would have to pay the piper. So in addition to paying out a large portion of their fortune, I really hope that the Sackler family sees the inside of a prison cell, because the damage they've done to this country and to people in this country is irreparable. So many young people who have died from the opioid crisis, from addiction. We've got a major problem here in the United States, and I think that it is perfectly encapsulated when you look at places like L.A. and San Francisco, where you've got people just, openly shooting up on the street and dropping needles all over the place. You've got playgrounds where children have to watch out for needles. Even in my town, I have seen needles just laying around on the streets, and it's not a good feeling. President Trump is the first person here in our United States government to really take action against the opioid crisis, and I commend him for his work. All right, and finally, we reported yesterday that there were some people who might be coming in as character witnesses for Andrew McCabe, but apparently they are not going to. So here was the commitment list right here. We had Eric Holder, John Brennan, James Clapper, David Cohen, a list of people with very familiar names. You know all of them. But Politico author Natasha Bertrand later updated her list, saying that McCabe's spokesperson changed her story within a couple hours. Just hours later, McCabe's spokesperson came out and updated her list, saying Eric Holder, Susan Rice, John Brennan, all three will not be testifying in defense of Andrew McCabe. Why do you think that would be? These are three big names here, people involved deeply with Spygate and other things, Fast and Furious. So I have to imagine that they are not going to want to be put under oath, because if they were, then they could be questioned about other things, specifically the crimes of Andrew McCabe and the dirty dealings that he and the last administration took part in when they were trying to stonewall and remove President Donald Trump from office. All right, guys, that is all that I have for you today. I want to thank everyone for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless.